So I just got done playing the demo of Khazan, the First Berserker, and I am honestly amazed by how good the game is so far. So obviously this is just a demo, so I have no idea what the full release is gonna be like, but if they keep up this level of quality, I can safely say that this game is gonna go down in history as one of the best Souls-likes ever. Me personally, I enjoyed it a lot more than something like Lies of P, which is also very much a parry focused Souls-like. And honestly, I just feel like the gameplay is perfect, man. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff I have to go over. But let's begin with some of the more important stuff. The gameplay is gonna feel a lot like Sekiro, in the sense that it's very much parry-centered. You are expected to parry a lot, or at least block. The good thing is that, unlike Sekiro, you do have an insane array of weapons. Like, so far in the demo, you basically get to choose 3 different weapons, and they all feel very different. And I hope that in the full release, there's gonna be obviously more weapons. I guess we'll find out, but so far I am positively amazed by the weapon selection. You basically have a dual wielding set. You have a greatsword, and you have a spear. Me personally, I always go with the greatsword first time around, and I can say with absolute confidence that this is by far the best greatsword that I've ever used in any Souls-like game, ever. So you have like this one ability, right, where you gain more poise and more hyper armor with the greatsword. Alright? So far so good. Dark Souls 1 poise, got it. Secondly, you have another ability which is gonna make it so that you deal more damage if you get hit more often, in mid-animation, basically. If that was not enough, you also have a passive which deals damage to the enemy after you block. And on top of that, you have another attack. Not attack. You have an ability which is gonna let you do a double slash attack after a parry. So it's like, oh god. Sorry, I keep saying parry, I mean block. Anyway, the point is, the greatsword in this game is extremely aggressive. It's pretty fast, it feels good to use, it's not sluggish or any of that sort of thing. It does really good stamina damage to the enemy, and it's a pleasure to use that weapon. It really is amazing and I love it. One thing I also want to say is that the dash attack with the greatsword is a shoulder bash. It's actually crazy to me how we have had so many Souls-likes that never really implemented a shoulder bash type of attack. So let's just say I'm very happy to have that, because it pretty much comes out instantly, and against smaller enemies it's so good because it just instantly kills them, and it's great. But on the topic of equipment, let's also talk about armor, not just your weapons. So, the awesome thing is that when it comes to your armor, you can also have multiple sets. Multiple sets means that you can have different kinds of bonuses, and you can mix and match them. Usually in these games, it's never really a good idea to just go full on a set, and I feel like usually you're gonna get a better, You're gonna get a better outcome if you actually just mix-match things based on what kind of 2-set bonus they provide. I know that some other games, like Diablo 3 for example, had that, where you wouldn't really want to go full set, you just went with whatever gave you the 3-set bonus that would increase your damage, and then you would get like some other stuff. And I have a feeling that it's gonna be very similar here too. If not, then hey, I'm gonna be a full set Andy, no problem. But for the demo, I have mixed and matched 2 different sets, and I was very happy with it. One thing I do want to say is that I noticed there's different levels to equipment and also different rarities, so I'm guessing it's gonna be very much like Neo in that sense, where you basically get like a bunch of loot piñatas, and you have to select what gear you're gonna use based on that. Usually with most Souls-likes, you have a certain area where you get a piece of equipment, and that's basically it. I'm not sure if that's gonna be the same here, but from what I can see, it's basically just random drops of like different level equipment and different rarity of equipment. So that might be good, that might be bad. Me personally, I love ARPGs. I love to grind. I farm all the time. I used to play Path of Exile a lot, so I have like 400 hours in Lake of Kalandra alone, which is arguably one of the worst expansions. But I still played the fuck out of it because I love the game. But anyway, speaking of Neo, one thing that... oh, sorry, let me just finish up with the gear for a second. I also want to quickly mention one thing about the gear. You have a necklace slot and a ring slot. I have no idea if you're gonna have more accessory slots as you go through the game. I feel like a lot of games do that. I mean, Black Myth Wukong does that. After you beat the Ying Tiger, you get like more accessory slots. Elden Ring does that with the when you beat like Margit, and then you have to beat like Peace Godfrey, sorry, the yellow Godfrey. I wonder if they are going to do the same here. I have no idea, but so far it seems that you only have 2 accessory slots, and they seem to only provide like a bonus damage or like a passive, let's say more damage against beasts or more damage for your charge attacks and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure, I could be wrong on that, but that's what it seems like, at least as of right now. Anyway, speaking of Neo, the game seems to be stage-based, or mission-based, I don't know what you want to call it. One thing I have noticed is that apparently you cannot replay the stages, I could be wrong on that. With Neo you could always go back and replay a previously defeated stage. I hope that they do let you do that here as well, you know, just in case you want to farm or do something like that. But that's a very interesting design choice. So it's not like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Lords of the Fallen, Lies of P, The Last Fate and so on, where you basically just go around the map. It's just mission based, that's it. I like that, personally. I know some people might be bothered by it, because usually you can always have better level design when you have like a connected world, as opposed to just multiple levels with a hub locked down. But again, this is up to preference and up to interpretation. Not interpretation, up to just personal opinions. But me personally, I like it. That said, I mentioned levels. Actually, so far it's honestly pretty good. You do have the shortcuts that you can make, like, let's say you knock down a cart, and now you have a little staircase that you can walk on. Or you knock down a log, and you can walk over it. And it's kind of like the Dark Souls 1 interconnected meme, where it's like, oh, you can go back and you can just, you know, make a connection with a previous area. But I feel like in this game it doesn't really have that much of a use, because, again, the levels are kind of short. And I feel like there's a lot of bonfires. I don't know what they are called. Listen. Lantern, bonfire. Grace, bonfire. Sculptor's Idol, bonfire. Whatever, Vestige Seeds, bonfire. What's it called in Lies of P? Stargazer, bonfire. No, they are all bonfires, okay? Same here. I don't care what they are called. But there are a lot of bonfires from what I noticed, so I feel like that kind of renders the whole shortcuts kind of useless. But hey, it's nice to have it, you know? I am never gonna deny that. And speaking of shortcuts... no, sorry, not shortcuts. What am I talking about? I already talked about shortcuts. I wanted to say the level design does feel pretty good, you know? You're not gonna get lost. At least, so far it hasn't really seemed to be that complicated, but I would say it's fun to go through the levels. Again, I understand this is just a demo, but I cannot iterate it enough just how much I enjoyed it, and I feel like everybody should give it a try, because honestly this is just one of the best experiences I had this year so far with the games that came out. To be fair, I have not played Monster Hunter Wilds. I will get to it at some point. I don't know when, but I've played this, and trust me, it's a fantastic game. It's phenomenal. I love it. What else is there to mention? I feel like I'm missing something important. Oh, levels. So, You know what's one thing that Dark Souls 2 does really well, besides almost everything? That's right. When you level up in Dark Souls 2, you get a stat increase to your HP. It does the same here. You can level up any stat, it's gonna get your HP up, and I appreciate it when games do that. I don't like how in Elden Ring, with the base game, you had to get to like 50 vigor if you wanted to survive in the end game. But like, here, I'm sure that there's gonna be like a vigor check at some point, but it just feels good that you don't have to invest like all of your levels into HP at some point. Like you can just level up your offensive stats and you're gonna be good to go. Is there something I haven't mentioned? Yes, okay. One final thing that I have not mentioned just yet. The game, I did say it works very much like Sekiro with the parry system, but you do have stamina. And one interesting thing that this game does is that when your stamina gets to 0, basically, and you get hit, you end up getting into like a stunned animation. And that's very much reminiscent of how you are when you get posture broken in Sekiro. Is that a bad thing? I would say no. I feel like it's absolutely fair. You know, just play defensively, try not to waste all your stamina. And I do like those kinds of design decisions. And when you do get a critical attack on an enemy, you do get your stamina back, which is just awesome. As I mentioned before, it promotes a... I haven't mentioned this, sorry. I keep thinking about like something else, but it's very much like Bloodborne in the sense that the game wants you to be aggressive. Like, yes, you are blocking, yes, you are trying to survive, but like, you're blocking so that you can break their posture, you do a critical attack, and then you have your full stamina bar so you can keep wailing on them. And it just feels so good, man. Like, I don't really enjoy defensive Souls like that much. If a game lets me be this aggressive, it just, again, it feels good to play. And maybe it's because the Greatsword just feels overpowered as hell. Maybe it's because just the game itself is great, I have no idea. But I absolutely love the freaking Greatsword in this game, and just the gameplay itself is fluid, it's good. Oh my, can you shut up? Sorry. I forgot to turn off my phone, but anyway. Game is good. Go play the demo. You're gonna love it. That's it. Take care, everybody. I will see you again soon, and I hope that everything is gonna be great for you. Spring has started, which means that winter is finally over, so you know, time to enjoy life. Anyway, people, I wish you all the best, and I will see you again soon. Take care, everybody.
You may rest here too, if you like.